Millions of people flee Ukraine as a consequence of the war. Executive Committee of the Seventh-day Adventist Church votes to temporarily attach Ukrainian Administrative Office to the General Conference. Over 21,000 people joined the Adventist Church after evangelistic series in the Dominican Republic. St. Louis holds the 61st session of the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. These stories and more will be part of this week's retrospective episode. According to the United Nations, millions of people, mainly women and children, fled Ukraine because of the conflict that began February 24th. The escalation led to a mass migration towards the neighboring countries of Poland, Slovakia, Romania, Hungary, and Moldova. Let's watch a video clip produced by Adrian Duray and Hope Channel International.
С первого дня мы уже слышали выстрелы. Я тогда был утро, где-то в 5 часов, 5:30. Я слышал взрывы. Я сначала подумал, что что-то, какая-то газовая труба взорвалась, а там, получается, уже начали стрелять, взрываться, там бомбы. С первого дня, это с 24 февраля. 24 февраля с 5:30 я уже слышал взрывы. Начали бомбить, было какой-то ажиотаж был, все люди не понимали, что взрывается. Но потом уже все догнали то, что началась война. И все начали бежать. Сначала все начали воду, у нас водой запасаться в магазины, там была очень большая очередь тоже с первых дней. И сейчас там очень сложно людям, там постоянно бомбят, постоянно слышны взрывы, там от Харькова уже почти ничего не осталось, там центр полностью разбомблен. Просто хотели оттуда уехать, там настоящая война. Там сколько людей в день погибает, это очень страшно.
The Executive Committee of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists voted unanimously on April 12 to attach the Ukrainian Union Conference, or UUC, the Church's administrative region covering the country of Ukraine, directly to the GC, until other comprehensive arrangements can be made. The GC is the administrative body located in Silver Spring, Maryland, that oversees the World Church. Previously, the UUC was part of the General Conference's Euro-Asia division. According to the action voted by the GC Executive Committee, the temporary attachment of the UUC to the GC is effective immediately and comes as a result of the current geopolitical matters that are causing administrative and mission challenges for the Ukrainian Union Conference and the Euro-Asia Division. The Euro-Asia Division will continue its work of administering activities of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the rest of its assigned territory. In 2007, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in South America launched Impacto Esperanza, or Impact Hope. The objective is to deliver books on having hope throughout different circumstances of life to the population free of charge. Distribution is made in homes, businesses, and strategic points in each city and remote region.
Each title has brought biblical answers on a wide range of subjects such as emotional health, the fate of the world, the wise use of time, and peace in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected the world since the beginning of 2020. The books produced so far for distribution in 8 countries of South America already total more than 328 million copies in print in both Portuguese and Spanish. This number, however, is apart from digital versions that have also been shared. In 2022, the year in which the initiative celebrates 15 years since its launch, the book The Final Hope by Clifford Goldstein is being distributed as part of a global appeal based on the three angels' messages from Revelation 14, verses 6 to 12. The president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the territory, Pastor Stanley Article, points out that in South America, Impacto Esperanza is now established in Argentina, Brazil, Bolivia, Chile, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, and Uruguay. However, the project has gone beyond South America and is reaching a global level. For Article, the focus is to announce this hope of salvation in Jesus Christ, even while living in a world full of trials and difficulties.
The Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the United States, hosted the Pathway to Health Mega Clinic event this past week. About 2,400 volunteers registered to support the initiative.
The Mega Clinic was able to provide free medical care to those in attendance. According to its organizers, several Adventist health professionals provided services in the areas of primary care, dentistry, radiology, eye care, and much more. The Mega Clinic, originally planned for 2020, had been previously canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to free physical health services, the Mega Clinic offered a packed spiritual program, including worship and praise events and impactful messages from the Word of God. Pathways to Health is a humanitarian nonprofit organization that, with the help and commitment of volunteers, donors, partners, and the Seventh-day Adventist Church, seeks to spread love inspired by the example of Jesus Christ.
It is beautiful to see all the things God has done through and for His people around the world. After this break, we will continue hearing more inspiring stories. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's one thing to reach a goal. It's another thing to hang on to it. Would you like to form habits that last? I'm Vicki Griffin, host of Living Free. Join me for this exciting episode of Habits That Last and Situational Awareness.
Did you know the world's largest land animals are vegetarian? Even though they're the second largest land animal, hippos don't eat other animals. Instead, they gorge on over 35 kilograms, 77 pounds, of grass each day. This is remarkable, given their large size. An adult male can be up to 3.5 meters or 11.5 feet long and weigh up to 3,200 kilograms or 7,000 pounds. Despite all that weight they have to carry, they're astonishingly fast, running up to 30 kilometers an hour or 19 miles per hour. They may be vegetarian, but they're not exactly docile. In fact, they're seen as the most dangerous animal in Africa. But this is mainly because they're highly protective of their family and territory. Despite sin's corruption, hippos are a remarkable statement of God's intent for even the largest animals to live in peace.
More than 21,000 new believers joined the Seventh-day Adventist Church during a 2-week-long evangelistic series held throughout Central America and the Dominican Republic. The series was held throughout Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Dominican Republic. Crowds gathered in large churches, auditoriums, sports fields, outdoor stadiums, and many also watched online.
Don't give up. There is still hope, was the resounding message heard throughout the 7 countries by keynote speaker Melchor Ferreira. Ferreira is the personal ministries director for the church in this part of the world. He reminded viewers and listeners that even during difficult times, God is near. The president of the Adventist Church in Inter-America, Eli Henry, said, "As is evident by those that are joining the church each day, God continues to be in the business of saving souls." Henry thanked the pastors, church elders, laypersons, small group leaders, Bible workers, and everyone who committed to spreading the gospel and doing the legwork necessary to prepare for the regional evangelistic campaign. Henry emphasized that the more than 21,000 baptisms are a great achievement and a wonderful part of this year's centenary celebration for the division.
Student filmmakers gathered at Loma Linda University Church for the 20th annual Sunscreen Film Festival, which included the world premiere of Hope Media Europe's series. More than 150 attended the festival this year, with more than 300 attending the Friday evening premiere of Encounters, a 5-episode TV series about college chaplains and the students who come to see them.
I need a miracle. Do you believe in miracles?
Dios, ayúdame a guiar a los estudiantes hacia Jesús y a sembrar en ellos el amor por tu palabra. Amén.
I'm mustering all the faith that I have.
Festival organizers screened 28 student films from 7 colleges or universities and academies, as well as several professionally made shorts. Because this was the first in-person Sunscreen since 2019, festival producer Tanya Musgrave encouraged students to socialize with one another through icebreakers and mixer games. According to Sunscreen.com, Sunscreen Film Festival was created and is sponsored by the North American Division of Seventh-day Adventists to nurture young filmmakers in their craft and career development. The worldwide Seventh-day Adventist Church held a 40 Days of Prayer event ahead of the General Conference session, which runs from June 6 to 11 this year in St. Louis, Missouri. Through a special message from Adventist World Church President Ted N.C. Wilson, Executive Secretary Ayrton Kohler, and Treasurer Paul Douglas invited members from around the world to join in 40 days of prayer from May 3rd to June 11th, which was the last day of the General Conference session. Media and Communication Manager for the church's Ministerial Association, Jonathan Walter, shares that long-term prayer emphases have prefaced the church in business session since 2015. That year, the World Church prayed together for 100 days leading up to the GC session in San Antonio, Texas. After recovering from COVID, one patient decided that she wanted to serve others and requested to be placed in the same unit where she had been treated. Advent Health sent this report.
A stay in the ICU as a patient is never easy. Most people who go through it likely would never want to come back for any reason. But not the woman you are about to meet. She went back to the ICU willingly to pay it forward, you could say. Senior videographer Dave Harrison has her story.
Good morning for 3 and 4. It's really nice as I walk around, and the staff that knows me from when I was here sick always goes, "Oh my God, it's so great to see you up and around." In December of 20, the last couple of days, I got COVID. January 3rd, I got really bad and I wasn't responsive, so they called the ambulance, which brought me here to Advent Health East. I came up to the ICU unit. Within a day, they told me that they had to put me in an induced coma and on a ventilator to keep me alive. It's definitely the team here that kept me alive because I was very, very close to dying a few times.
When I found out we were letting volunteers back in the hospital, we were all very excited.
There you go, Miss Michelle.
When we first saw her, we were all like, she looks so familiar to us. And you just had that recognition.
They asked me what I wanted to do, and I said I'd love to be able to work on the floor that took care of me. And I'm here now and love every second of it. Perfect, see, perfect fold. Look how neat that one is. They don't really get the chance of seeing how the outcome of people are. And being, forgive me, on the ICU floor, a lot of times there's not a good outcome. I'm definitely a lot skinnier now. To see somebody who is up and around and able to do things, it makes them feel wonderful, and to see them feel good because they need it is just unbelievable.
She just brings a light to us, and it just reminds us why we do what we do every day.
I find it amazing. The philosophy, the teamwork I see here, how they take care of each other without having to be asked, it's just amazing. There's just no other place I'd ever want to work than Advent Health.
In Orlando, Tom Johnson for Advent Health.
The Voice of Youth, or VOY, Expand 2022 of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Southern Asia Pacific sent 819 teams involving almost 27,000 young people to reach out to their communities.
VOY Expand 2022 is a church-based, all-year-round evangelistic effort. Till the month of May, the Lord has led 7,500 new disciples to Jesus through this initiative. An additional 2,800 Voice of Youth teams are preparing to fulfill the gospel commission. The VOY Expand has made an impact on the lives of young people, local church leaders, pastors, and administrators. Upon visiting some of the VOY teams in different communities of the South Philippines, some youth directors made important observations. They noticed that 80% of those involved are, in fact, young people. They also realized that the church elders, pastors, and parents involved really supported the young people, and that the young people were unstoppable in their desire to fulfill their duties despite flooding and electricity power interruptions.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll hear some more 2022 retrospective stories, and we'll also hear the story of the first African-American Adventist doctor.
Have you ever wondered if there was more to life? Do you have big questions with hard-to-find answers? The Discover Bible Guides are Hope Channel's free gift to you. These 26 beautifully illustrated guides cover major themes of the Bible and answer some of life's deepest questions. Visit hopebiblestudy.org or call 888-446-7388 and begin your journey to discovery today.
You might be asking, who are Seventh-day Adventists? Commonly known as Adventists, we are a Christian movement established in 1863. We have 28 fundamental beliefs and more than 20 million members. We also observe the seventh-day Sabbath. Worldwide, we have more than 162,000 congregations. We serve countless communities with our education institutions, with 2 million students. And 198 hospitals around the world. And it's all because we love Jesus.
Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?
Ted Wilson was elected world president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church for a third term. The 270-strong nominating committee, comprising 10% of the assembly delegates, nominated Wilson, which was accepted by the General Conference's Executive Committee. Arnaldo Oliveira has more information.
Elected by the first time in Atlanta General Conference in 2010, Wilson was elected again in 2015 in San Antonio, and now he holds the post until 2025 when the assembly returns here to St. Louis. Wilson is married to Nancy and has 3 daughters. Revival and Reformation, missions to the cities, and total member involvement are some of Wilson's main projects in the presidency.
Jesus is coming. Get involved. This was the theme of the 2022 St. Louis General Conference session, the 61st of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Check out some highlights of the week.
As it approaches 160 years since its official birth, the Adventist Church had its first hybrid General Conference session, complete with virtual exhibits. After 7 years and twice canceled, the session that returned to St. Louis after 17 years saw its musical concerts in digital form as well as some of its morning and afternoon services. It also saw empty spaces where there were once thousands of believers surrounding the delegates. Yes, there were empty spaces, but none were truly unoccupied. Thousands of angels were taking part. The program was broadcast in its entirety in English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Russian, in addition to being translated into languages such as Korean and Romanian. And after a week of decisions that will impact the world church for the next 3 years, came the Sabbath rest, and with it all that this day entails. Anticipating the message of the president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Ted Wilson, a choir and orchestra with musicians from various parts of the world inspire those present with their music. Hold Fast What You Have was the title of the sermon. Wilson began his sermon by showing, through greetings in several languages, that the Adventist Church is a worldwide movement.
Jesús viene pronto. Jésus revient bientôt. Jésus brevi volterà. Jesu anakuja upesi.
Wilson emphasized Christian simplicity, unity, the institution of marriage between a man and a woman, and other biblical truths. Here are some phrases that marked Wilson's sermon on the closing day of the 61st General Conference session of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, held from June 6 to 11 in St. Louis, Missouri, United States.
Let us never give up the pure Bible truth. Despite the swirling chaos all around us, we can plant our feet directly and believe completely in the unchanging holy Word of God, the Scriptures, the Bible.
The Sabbath also saw the closing of the 40 days of prayer, which began on May 3rd and prepared the heart of the church for the monumental event. A tribute was also paid to the city of St. Louis, host of the general meeting, and to the leaders who are retiring. A missionary program was carried out based on Reach the World, I Will Go, the main project of the church. And, as always, the closing took place with believers from all over the world carrying the flags and costumes of their countries. To learn more about what happened at the session, including business decisions, church manual changes, elected officers, worships, and more, and to watch Pastor Ted Wilson's sermon in full, go to the Seventh-day Adventist Church's YouTube channel. During the main meeting of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, young adults made a difference in the life of many people. They went on to the streets of St. Louis to help the homeless and share literature. Pastor Dejan Stojakovic, leader of the Adventist youth in Europe, was at the forefront of this movement. They answered to Jesus' call and got involved.
Our young people here decided they're going to do something more about this. And what they decided to do is to go and find people that can help.
Okay, my name is Daniel. I'm from the Dominican Republic. And my name is Manasseh, and I'm from the Bahamas. And we were at the St. Louis unofficial, Impact St. Louis.
Youth Impact.
Youth Impact, that's right. And we gave around a box of books and a lot of
care packages.
Care packages for men and women. And man, we believe that God was really moving in this event.
As GC Station Moro, we're getting involved in mission.
That's right. And you can get involved too.
A legacy of faith, loyalty, humility, and mission. This is what we will see in the story of the first African-American Adventist doctor.
The life and ministry of the first African-American Seventh-day Adventist medical doctor was one of constant motion. Charlotte Isbell was born in 1876 in Virginia, but was raised in Columbus, Ohio. Her family moved in order to escape violence and racial prejudice following the American Civil War. She was known to her friends and family as Lottie. When she was 20, Lottie and 4 other family members became Adventists. She wanted to be a teacher and was planning to work in public schools. But Lottie's new church family had a suggestion. Why not use her gifts to study at the Adventist Nurses Training School in Battle Creek, Michigan? Lottie agreed. When she completed the nursing program, the well-known Dr. John Harvey Kellogg encouraged her to study medicine at the American Medical Missionary College. Lottie followed his advice and graduated at the top of her class, becoming the first African-American Adventist medical doctor. She opened a sanitarium in Nashville, Tennessee, but the community wasn't interested in the natural remedies she offered. This led Lottie to accept a call to serve as the resident physician at the Oakwood Manual Training School in Alabama. While there, she was able to open a program for nurses at Oakwood College, which is now known as Oakwood University. It was about this time that she married Pastor David Blake. They'd been writing letters back and forth for some time. After they married, they moved to Nashville. That's when Lottie re-established the Rock City Sanitarium she'd opened years before, and David pastored a church while studying medicine. From there, the Blakes accepted a call to mission in Panama. For 4 years, the two physicians worked hard as self-supporting medical missionaries. Together, they raised up a church, creating yet another opportunity to serve their community. Lottie cared for and taught their 5 children as well. While there was a lot of work to do in Panama, the family realized that the conditions in the area were affecting their health. They headed to Port-au-Prince, Haiti to continue their missionary work. They started another church and provided medical services to the community. After a few years, they went back to the United States with plans to continue their ministry in the American South. Unfortunately, David caught pneumonia and died. Lottie and her children were heartbroken. Ministry never stopped calling, though, and the last 22 years of Lottie's service were spent in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She specialized in women's and children's medicine. In fact, she's known in the medical field for her discovery of a cure for smoky city pneumonia caused by smog in large cities. Her legacy is one of faith, loyalty, humility, and mission. Dr. Charlotte Isbell Blake gave her life in service to God, and He used her to change the lives of people in communities both near and far. If you'd like to read more stories of Adventist history like this, visit encyclopedia.adventist.org.
Thank you for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Did you know the Adventist Church has a YouTube channel where you can watch ANN Video, ANN In Depth, and plenty of other amazing videos on prophecy, health, and Bible study? Just go to YouTube and search for the Adventist Church. Make sure you click the subscribe button so you never miss a new video. And remember, leave a comment or a prayer request. We have a team dedicated to praying for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Before we say goodbye, we'll leave you with some good news from the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 6. It says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit adventist.news for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.